I mean, personally, I loved all my stuff with Nico because she's amazing. So all my stuff with Nico was awesome, and then my other favorite scene was the one where I actually got to fly with Chase, just because flying was so much fun, and being in the harness, and I had like a whole flight rehearsal beforehand too, and learned how to work with the wires and the ropes and stuff, and that was just like, shooting that scene was such a special experience. It was so cool. I'd agree with the parent thing. I have really lovely parents, so that obviously is a little bit tricky to wrap your head around. But other than that, I mean, I think I could relate to Carolina in that I went through a similar thing in like high school and in middle school, not really knowing who I was and not being honest about that. And then as I grew older, just being more and more comfortable in my own skin and kind of owning who I was. So I think I could really relate to Carolina in those aspects.
So I have 2 questions for Ginny.
Okay.
The first one is, how do you feel about the relationship between Carolina and Gert? Like, when they first started, it was kind of tense and they didn't really like each other. So your point of view on that and how you want it to develop in the second season. And I'll let you answer that and then I'll ask you the second one.
My relationship with Gert was kind of complicated. I think at the beginning of the season, we both had a lot of kind of like resentment built up toward each other over the years that we hadn't been speaking. So I think we just needed to kind of like start speaking the same language again and kind of get on the same page and kind of get a little bit more respect for each other. But one of my favorite parts of this season was watching our relationship go. And I love working with Ariella, and her and I are really close in real life too. So I think the more Josh and Steph saw how good we were getting along in real life, the more they kind of started to write for that. And one of my favorite parts of this season was when me and Ariella and Old Lace got to go and try to break into Chase's house that one night. So it's awesome.
And the second question is, with the Nico scenes, when you first, like the first and second kisses, was it tense for both you and Lyrica to like figure out how you're gonna play that chemistry, or did you guys already kind of like just go and make it happen?
We were so excited. Yeah, because like I said, we had been hoping for that to happen all season. So Lyrica and I were like so pumped to finally make that moment happen.
And I remember telling Ginny this. Well, not the whole story, but I'm about to give you a compliment, so don't worry. But I remember when Ginny and Lyrica were doing that scene, I remember thinking to myself in that moment, I mean, Lyrica's a fantastic actress, but it wasn't on her coverage, so I couldn't particularly see her face. But I remember looking at Ginny, and there was such, I was watching the monitors, and there was such purity in her performance, where that was the moment where I knew that Virginia Gardner is a superstar. And like really, like so, like beautifully pure, still, sweet, like it was amazing. And so that relationship is so loved in the show because of also not just the comic characters, it's also their performances. They really do nail it, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What a sweet boy. Also, Lyrica is so lovely, and her and I get along so well. It's so easy to have great chemistry with her too. So Lyrica and I were super excited about that scene.
Yeah, you both do it like beautifully. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Well, after I read the comic books, I was really excited about that relationship, and obviously you never really get to see that developed in the comic books. So Lyrica and I were really pushing from the beginning of the season, because her and I really wanted to make that happen, especially when her and I became so close in real life too. We were like, when are we gonna get to kiss? When are we gonna get to make this moment happen? And we kept bugging Josh and stuff about it, and they just kept kind of saying like, just wait, it might happen. And then we finally got the script, and we're like over the moon about it. And I'm really excited. I don't really know what's going to happen next season. I think right now she could go Alex, she could go Carolina. I hope she goes Carolina, so I'm excited to see what happens for next season.